Hello, everyone, and a massive welcome back to the show. I am so thrilled to be with you all today because we have some absolutely juicy family news to dive into. And when I say family, you know we're talking about a family that operates on a whole other scale. That's right, we're diving headfirst back into the world of the Duggars. Now, if you're just joining us or if you've been living under a rock for the past couple of decades, the Duggar family first burst onto our screens with their reality show, 19 Kids and Counting, and later, Counting On. Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, with their 19 children, became a cultural phenomenon. And as those kids have grown up, gotten married, and started families of their own, the headlines and the baby announcements have just kept on coming. It's like a never-ending stream of adorable babies, courtships, and, of course, major family milestones. And people, we are in the midst of a major milestone season for this family. We have not one, but two of the Duggar daughters-in-law pregnant at the same time, which is honestly not that unusual for this crew. But the news that has everyone talking, the news that broke the internet in the Duggarverse this week, is that we finally know what they're having. The gender reveal cat is out of the bag. Abbie Burnett, wife of John David Duggar, and Jana Duggar, the eldest daughter who has been the subject of so much speculation over the years, have both revealed the genders of their babies. This is huge. So strap in, grab a cup of coffee, because we are going to break this all down. We're going to talk about the reveals themselves, the family dynamics at play, what this means for the famous Duggar cousin count, and we're even going to take a little trip down memory lane to appreciate the journeys of these two women. This is your one-stop shop for all things Duggar baby news. Let's start with the one that has perhaps generated the most surprise and delight, Jana Duggar. For years, and I mean years, Jana has been the subject of intense curiosity and, frankly, a lot of pressure from fans. As the eldest daughter at home for so long, she was often seen as the sister mom, the steadfast rock of the family, the one who was always there helping to raise her younger siblings. The question on everyone's lips was always, when will Jana court? When will Jana get married? She watched as her younger sisters, Jill, Jessa, Jinger, Joanna, all got married and started families, and she remained, as the fans called her, the last one left. Well, as we now know, that chapter is firmly closed. Jana surprised everyone when she announced her courtship and then her engagement to Stephen Wisman. And the wedding came quickly, in a beautiful, private ceremony. The excitement was palpable, but the next big question immediately arose. When would they have a baby? The answer came sooner than some expected, with Jana announcing her pregnancy earlier this year. And the joy for her was just overflowing from the fan community. This is a woman who has dedicated her life to caring for children, and now she was finally going to have one of her very own. So, the gender reveal was a massive moment. How did they do it? It was a classic, elegant, and heartfelt reveal. From the pictures and videos shared on social media, it looked like a small, intimate gathering with close family and friends. There was a beautiful cake, and when Jana and Stephen cut into it, the inside was filled with vibrant blue frosting. That's right, everyone. Jana Duggar is having a boy. Let's just let that sink in for a moment. The sister who helped raise a dozen of her younger brothers, the one who knows a thing or two about handling little boys, is now going to be a mom to a son of her own. The look on her face in the photos was just pure, unadulterated joy. It's a new journey for her, stepping out of the role of sister mom and into the role of mother. With a capital M. This is her own story beginning, and it's starting with a little prince. Now, let's contrast that with the other big reveal, which comes from Abbie Burnett. Abbie, if you recall, is married to John David Duggar. Their story was always so sweet. John David, the quiet, twin brother of Jana, a pilot and a man of few words, finding love with Abbie, a registered nurse. They have one daughter already, Grace, who is an absolute doll. And they are known for being a bit more private, a bit more reserved than some of the other Duggar couples. Their life seems centered on their small, immediate family unit, and it's really beautiful to watch. Abbie announced her second pregnancy not long after Jana, and it immediately sparked the question, would Grace be getting a little brother or a little sister? The Duggar family, as a whole, has seen a real mix lately, plenty of girls and plenty of boys. So, the odds were truly 50-50. For their reveal, they also opted for a sweet, family-focused event. It looked like they were at home, probably with just a few people around. And the method? It was simple and adorable. They had their daughter, Grace, involved. They gave her a box filled with balloons, and when she opened it, a cloud of pink balloons came floating out. Yes! Abby and John David are having another girl. Grace is going to have a little sister. How precious is that? 2 little girls, just a couple of years apart. You can just imagine them growing up as best friends, and John David being utterly wrapped around their little fingers. He's this tough, capable guy, a pilot, a constable, a man who can fix anything, and he's going to be surrounded by this estrogen-filled household. It's the sweetest image. And for Abby, having another girl means she gets to experience that sisterly bond from a mother's perspective. It's just wonderful news for their little family. So, there you have it. The big reveals, Jana having a boy and Abby having a girl. 2 new branches on the massive Duggar family tree, each with their own unique story and dynamic. But we can't just stop there, can we? Oh no. This news opens up so many fascinating conversations about the family as a whole. Let's dig a little deeper. First, let's talk about the concept of the Duggar grandkids. We need to put these 2 new babies into context. Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar are, at last count, grandparents to over 30 grandchildren. The number is constantly climbing, so it's hard to pin down an exact figure, but it is well into the 30s. It's a whole new generation, and they are being produced at an astonishing rate. With Jana having a boy and Abby having a girl, the gender balance among the grandkids remains pretty interesting. It's not a perfectly even split, but it's close. There are clusters of boys in some families and clusters of girls in others. For instance, Jessa and Ben Seawald have 3 boys and 2 girls. Joseph and Kendra Duggar have. I believe it's 3 girls and 2 boys? See, it's hard to keep up. But that's the fun of it. Each new baby shifts the dynamic just a little bit. This also means that the famous cousin crew is about to get 2 new members. This is the term the family uses for all the grandkids when they get together. Can you even imagine a family reunion? It must be absolute beautiful chaos. Dozens of kids, all around the same age, running around. It's a built-in playgroup. Jana's son will have a cousin his age from Abby's family, and he'll also have a slew of other cousins from his aunts and uncles. He will never want for playmates, that's for sure. Now, another angle I find fascinating is the journey of these 2 mothers. Let's talk about Jana first, because her path to motherhood is so unique within this family. For so long, she was the caregiver. She wasn't just an older sister, she was a fundamental part of the parenting structure in that home. The Duggars have talked about their buddy system, where the older kids are paired with younger ones to help care for them. Jana was at the top of that chain for the girls for a very, very long time. She changed diapers, she helped with homeschooling, she managed schedules, she provided comfort and discipline. She did all of this without the official title of mom. And now she gets to have that title. There's a profound difference between caring for your siblings and caring for your own child. It's a different kind of love, a different kind of responsibility, a different kind of bond. I have no doubt that her years of experience have given her a wealth of practical knowledge that many first-time mothers don't have. She probably can swaddle a baby in her sleep and knows a dozen tricks to soothe a crying infant. But the emotional journey is entirely new. This is her child. The decisions are hers and Steven's to make. The middle-of-the-night wake-up calls are for her own son. That's a shift in identity that I think will be incredibly powerful for her. She's stepping out of the shadow of her parents' massive family and creating her own, new, nuclear family unit. And starting with a boy. After raising so many sisters, this is a new adventure. Will he be a little adventurer like his dad? Will he have a calm and gentle spirit? It's all a wonderful mystery waiting to unfold. And then we have Abby. Abby came into this family as an outsider, with a career as a nurse. She had a life and an identity before becoming a Duggar. Her approach to motherhood has always seemed very grounded and calm. With her first, Grace, she seemed to take to it so naturally. And now, with a second on the way, she's moving from being a mother of 1 to a mother of 2. That's a whole new ballgame, as any parent will tell you. It's not just 1-to-1 anymore, It's managing the needs of a toddler while caring for a newborn. It's dealing with sibling dynamics from day one. But having another girl so close in age has its own special magic. She can reuse all of Grace's old baby clothes, for one thing. But more importantly, she gets to watch this sisterly relationship form. She gets to see Grace learn to be a big sister, to share, to protect, to love her new sibling. For a family that values relationships so deeply, adding another girl to the mix is a beautiful thing. It also makes me wonder about John David. He's a man of action, not necessarily a man of many words. But in the little clips we've seen of him with Grace, he is just a doting, gentle giant of a father. To see him with 2 little girls? I think it might just melt the internet. He's going to be their hero. He'll be flying his plane with 2 little co-pilots in the making. It's a really sweet dynamic for their family. Now, we can't talk about the Duggars without touching on the family's beliefs and how they influence these life events. The Duggars are devout independent Baptists, and their faith is the cornerstone of their lives. For them, children are always seen as a blessing from the Lord. Every pregnancy is celebrated as a gift. That's why, even with the family now being so vast, every new baby announcement is met with such genuine excitement from within the family. It's not just, oh, another one. It's, praise God, another blessing. This belief system also influences their approach to gender reveals. While the parties themselves are modern inventions, the underlying joy is deeply rooted in their faith. They often share verses from the Bible with their announcements, thanking God for the new life. It's a consistent thread that ties all of these celebrations together. It's also worth noting how the family has adapted to the modern world of social media. Back in the 19 kids and counting days, we got our updates through the TV show. Now, with Counting On off the air, we rely almost entirely on social media platforms like Instagram for our Duggar updates. The family members who are active online have become their own media managers. They control the narrative, they share the photos, they post the announcements. This is how we got these gender reveals. Through carefully curated posts, stories, and reels. It allows them to share their joy directly with their fans, without a TV network as an intermediary. It's a more intimate, though still very public, way of sharing their lives. And the fans eat it up. The comments on Jana's post were flooded with well-wishers who have been following her story for over a decade. It's a unique relationship between a reality TV family and their audience. Let's also take a moment to talk about the names. Oh, the naming conventions of the Duggars are a topic all on their own. As you know, all of Jim, Bob, and Michelle's kids have names starting with J. Joshua, Jana, John David, Jill, Jessa, Jinger, Joseph, Josiah, Joanna, Jedediah, Jeremiah, Jason, James, Justin, Jackson, Johanna, Jennifer, Jordan Grace, and Josie. It's an iconic pattern. But when it comes to the grandkids, that pattern has largely been abandoned. The adult kids have gotten creative. Some have chosen themed names for their own families. For example, Jessa and Ben have names that start with H for their boys. Henry, Hudson, and actually, let me correct that, their boys are Spurgeon, Henry, and Ivy. No, Ivy is a girl. See, it's tricky. They have Spurgeon Elliott, Henry Wilberforce, and Ivy Jane, and then 2 others. This is why we need a spreadsheet. Others have chosen more modern or classic names. Joseph and Kendra have Garrett, Addison, Brooklyn, and so on. Justin and Claire have Gideon. So, the J tradition stopped with the first generation. This leads to the big question, what will Jana and Stephen name their little boy? And what will Abby and John David name their new little girl? For Jana and Stephen, this is their first. Will they choose a family name? A biblical name? Stephen's family, the Wismans, are also a large musical family. Maybe they'll draw inspiration from there. I've seen fans speculating about classic, strong names. Maybe a name like Samuel, or Benjamin, or Matthew. Or perhaps they'll surprise everyone with something more unique. The one thing I feel fairly confident about is that it won't start with a J. That era seems to be over. As for Abby and John David, they already have a daughter named Grace. Grace is such a beautiful, timeless name. Will they choose another virtue name for their second daughter? Something like hope, or faith, or joy. Or will they go in a different direction entirely? Maybe they'll choose a name that complements Grace, like Sophia, or Charlotte, or Eleanor. Grace and Eleanor sound lovely together. It's a fun game to play while we wait for the official announcement. The other thing these pregnancies and reveals highlight is the changing seasons of life for Jim, Bob, and Michelle. They are now deep into their grandparenting years. They must be overjoyed to see their family expanding in this way. But it also means their role has shifted. They are no longer the primary caregivers for a huge brood of children at home. Their home, the famous TTH, the Tinker Toy House, is now filled with the echoes of the past and the joyful noise of visiting grandchildren. I often wonder what that must feel like for them. To see your children having children of their own, to see your family name and legacy carried on in such a tangible, numerous way. It must be a source of immense pride and joy for them. And with each new grandchild, their influence grows, but it's also diluted in a way. Each new family unit has its own traditions, its own parenting style, its own way of doing things. It's the natural cycle of life, playing out on a massive, public scale. It's also interesting to note which of the adult kids are having babies around the same time. It creates these little cousin clusters. Jana's baby and Abby's baby will be very close in age. They'll likely be at family events together, growing up together. It's like a new mini-generation within the grandkids. Now, I know there are critics of the Duggar family. There are people who question their beliefs, their lifestyle, the sheer size of their family. And that's a valid conversation to have. But for today, in this moment, looking at these two women, Jana, who waited so long for this, and Abby, who is gracefully building her family, it's hard not to feel a sense of simple, human happiness for them. They're experiencing one of the most universal human joys, the anticipation of a new child. The wonder of not knowing who this little person will be, but loving them unconditionally already. The excitement of finding out if it's a boy or a girl and starting to dream about their future. That's a feeling that transcends belief systems, family size, or fame. It's a fundamental part of the human experience. And that, I think, is a big part of why people remain so fascinated by the Duggars. It's not just the spectacle of a giant family. It's that, at its core, their story is made up of these relatable, emotional milestones. Courtship, marriage, pregnancy, birth. These are the chapters of life that everyone can understand on some level. We might not have 18 siblings, but we know what it's like to be excited for a new nephew or niece. We might not have a reality TV show, but we know the joy of a gender reveal cake with our own families. So, as we wrap up this deep dive into this wonderful Duggar news, let's just take a final moment to celebrate these two moms-to-be. To Abby Burnett, congratulations on your sweet baby girl. May Grace be the best big sister, and may your home be filled with even more laughter, tea parties, and pink balloons. You and John David are building such a beautiful, loving family. And to Jana Duggar, a massive, heartfelt congratulations on your baby boy. This is the start of a brand new, incredible chapter for you. After all those years of selflessly giving to your siblings, it is now your time to receive the boundless love of a child of your own. Your journey to motherhood has been a long one, and I think I speak for so many when I say we are just thrilled for you. You are going to be an amazing mother. So, there you have it, folks. The Duggar family tree is branching out once again, with a new boy and a new girl on the way. The legacy continues, the cousin crew expands, and we, the audience, get to watch it all unfold, one social media post at a time. Thank you so much for joining me for this breakdown. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think they'll name the babies? Are you hashtag Team Jana Boy or hashtag Team Abby Girl? Drop a comment below and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, when the next big Duggar news inevitably breaks, take care.